For a moment, I felt I didn't belong. I was standing outside a shop I must have walked into hundreds of times as a child. Same spot, same pavement worn smooth over the years. I reached for the door handle, a movement so familiar my body could do it without me, and the door stuck. Just a small thing, but in that second, something in me said, "This place doesn't open for you the way it used to." And I stood there with my hand on that old door, feeling something I hadn't quite felt before. I wasn't at home. Even though I was in the town that raised me, in the country that I built my life in, and in that quiet moment, my hand still on that door, I realised something had shifted inside me long before I ever noticed it. People don't leave the UK for sunshine or cost. They leave because of moments like that, moments so small that you could miss them, but so true that you can't ignore them. In the comments of my last video, many people said, "I don't recognise my town anymore. I feel invisible. I feel like a stranger in my own country." And there's a sadness in that, a quiet, tired sadness, the kind that waits for you to finally acknowledge it. Because what do you do when the streets you've known no longer seem to know you back? Well, I just kept walking. I pretended the light hadn't changed. I acted as if the doors opened easily, but somewhere deep down I knew they didn't. The world had moved on, and I'd moved on too, just in different directions. There's a kind of light you remember from your childhood, not sunshine exactly, more like a warmth, a feeling that the world was yours, that sense of belonging. And for a long time, I thought that light was still there. I thought it was me who'd dimmed, me who'd gone grey around the edges. But the truth was simpler and harsher. The light had changed, slowly, quietly, like a day turning without you noticing the sky shift. And when the light changes on a place, it changes on you too. Suddenly, my life felt too tight, like a room I no longer fit inside. I started to wonder, did the room shrink? And that's when the truth arrived, late but unmistakable. The room didn't shrink, it stayed while I outgrew it. I spent decades building a life, working, trying, and carrying everyone's weight, including my own. And then one day I woke up and realised the UK I knew and the UK I live in are not the same country. And the person I was and the person I'm becoming aren't the same either. It's not betrayal and it's not disloyalty. It's not abandonment. It's simply this: I outgrew the version of Britain that once felt like home. That's hard to say, but it's even harder to pretend it isn't true. Because once you feel the distance, the cultural shift, the loss of presence, the way nobody makes eye contact anymore, you can't unfeel it. You realise you've been standing at a door that hasn't opened for you in years, hoping it might suddenly swing wide open again. But doors don't do that, not once they've changed. People say I'm moving to the Philippines because it's cheap or sunny or easier, or that I'm just a fool simply escaping. But the truth is, I'm leaving because I want to feel home again. Not in the nostalgic sense, but in the sense that my life needs to fit again. I want warmth, not just in the weather, but in the people, in pace, in how life feels on the inside. I want mornings that don't rush me, days that don't drain me, a life where the light feels right again. And maybe that's the simplest truth of all. Home isn't the place you start. Home is the place that lets you breathe, the place where the inner doors open easily. And when you find that place or it finds you, you'll know. You'll feel it in your heart. You'll feel it in the steps you take, and you'll feel it in the way the world welcomes you in. Home is the place that feels like it's waiting for you. There's a moment in everyone's life where the pretending stops, when you stand in the quiet and ask, am I staying because this is my life, or because I'm too afraid to choose another one? It's a brave question, but it's the one that frees you. And somewhere inside that question, I felt something shift, a small warmth returning, a pull towards a door that would open, towards a light that felt right again. And for the first time in years, I didn't feel stuck. I felt ready, not running, not escaping, just choosing the life that feels like mine. So let me ask you something and answer it honestly, not for me, but for yourself. Do you still feel at home where you live? Or are you standing in a place where the light has faded, pretending that the doors still open the way they used to? Tell me in the comments, because maybe speaking it aloud is the first step towards a more fulfilling life waiting on the other side. And look, I don't know if the Philippines will be perfect, it nowhere is. But whatever happens there, you'll get the truth from me, the real story, not the polished one. So if you want to follow this honestly, the doubts, the joy, the missteps, the freedom, hit subscribe. This is Spence Unpacked, and I'll see you on the next one.